Warning: this podcast may contain graphic violence, sexual themes, and bad language. If our language offends you, we apologize, but we do not give a fuck. Be mindful of your kids listening.
The Evil Never Dies podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the Evil Never Dies podcast with the host of the show, Evil Bubba Brett. Hello, Brett.
What's up?
And I'm Carl Todd, the contributor.
The contributor.
I'm certainly not much of any kind of a host this week because I ain't prepared for nothing.
You're not.
Don't even know what we're doing.
You don't.
We do the Omen, right?
Are you going in blind?
You told me the wrong Omen. I watched the remake.
Oh, you watched you fucker.
I did. I watched the wrong Omen.
Watched the wrong Omen. Okay.
I didn't realize until 5 minutes before we started that you meant the original Omen.
Okay. Then you ain't reading the fucking notes I'm sending.
No.
Tell me to get this Apple phone and
I didn't read them.
I'm sending you notes and you're not reading them correctly.
Well, I'll read them right now. Show notes. I still want to do Fuck Off Bubba the movie.
Is that still on there? I didn't take that off yet.
No. So tonight we're going to be covering the original Omen from 1976 or 77.
76.
Okay. See, I don't need notes. I don't need to research. I don't need anything because I know what's going on.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the Omen. I've actually got the box set of DVDs here. No, I did not watch the movie, but I'm going to watch it after this show maybe. And here's the one we're covering for our YouTube watchers. This is, guess what? A Scream Factory version of the Omen trilogy plus the remake. And then the Omen 4, which I never even watched.
Wasn't that with the girl?
It was.
Yeah, so, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good either. So I don't know. The
now former 20th Century / Fox, which is now 20th Century Studios, had released the Omen in this terrible, terrible, terrible Blu-ray set. The picture was bad. The packaging was worse, and everybody hated it. So the Scream Factory got a hold of, I guess it was still when Fox and them were combined, and they put out this really good box set. It should still be available because I saw it at Movie Trading Company. If you're not seeing the Omens, we're going to tell you all about the 1976 Richard Donner, The Omen. Hit it, Bubby.
I'm pouring my other.
What are you doing?
Here. Pouring my other bottle in here.
I'm not supposed to be prepared, and you're the one over there pouring bottles of stuff.
I'm mixing a drink, brother.
I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
See, last week you drank and I didn't, and now I'm drinking and you're not.
Yeah, I had too rough of a week to even want to drink. I just want to go to sleep.
All righty.
And I'm drinking Mountain Dew. I'm sure I'll sleep well.
The Omen, directed by Richard Donner. This was actually his first movie that he did.
Yeah, he was a TV guy before that.
Yep. Written by David Seltzer. Produced by Harvey Bernhard. Here I go. Somebody's got a drink. I'm not pronouncing my shit right.
I'll drink Mountain Dew. Actually, I can get more messed up on caffeine than I can vodka if I drink too much of it.
Cinematography by Gilbert Taylor. Edited by Stuart Baird. Music soundtrack I guess, score. You'd rather say it wasn't really a
It
soundtrack.
was a score, yeah.
Jerry Goldsmith. Do you got a copy of that? Is it on Apple? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I've got them all from CDs. So I got all the movies except for that Omen 4, I think. So yeah, I've got the soundtracks. And
All right.
yes, they are spooky as hell. At least the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. Production company Mace Neufeld Productions and distributed by 20th Century Fox.
Now known as 20th Century Studios.
Running time of 111 minutes. English language, countries, United Kingdom and the United States. Release dates. It was released in the UK
Oh, yeah.
on June 6th of 1976.
So it was released in the 6th month on the 6th day of the 6th year. What the hell?
1970.
666?
Yep.
Wow. That's some good
And
marketing right there.
and I also did some good marketing because before it was released in the US, they played the trailer for, you know how they used to play the trailers in the movies before at the movie theater.
They still do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I ain't been to one in a while, so. But anyway, they played the trailer to this, and while the movie was the movie that the people were watching, they decorated the lobby with all these 666 things at a bunch of places, and
That's
people were
pretty
freaked
cool.
out when they walked out. So, yeah, a little bit of trivia there.
That's pretty cool.
All right. Budget was $2.8 million.
Pretty low budget for a lot of the effects in the movie.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie, I can tell the stories without anything. We'll get to that later. Like how they got the apes, or I guess they weren't apes, they were baboons. How they got
Baboons.
them to go crazy.
Yep. Yep.
Real creative ways. So with a low budget, they did a lot of good stuff.
Made $60.9 million in the United States and Canada alone.
I
So,
thought it would have made a little bit more than that, so I'm sort of surprised.
well, that's not counting UK, so who knows how much it made over there.
I mainly go with domestic numbers with movies. That's the traditional what we do. So
All right, you want to go over the plot?
I'll let you go over the plot.
I'm going over the plot again. I went over
I
the
did
plot.
it last week.
You did
You
last
couldn't
week? I
talk.
thought I did.
You couldn't talk last week. You said you were sick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You didn't act sick. You do the plot. I'm sick. I'm sick of being awake. I'm tired and sleepy. It's been a long effing week.
All right.
Or you
Basically,
want me to go? You do the plot, or I'll do the plot. I'll
do the
do it the
plot.
easy way.
You do the plot.
I'm gonna do it the my method of the plot.
Okay.
So I don't know what any of these characters' names are. I just know Gregory Peck is ambassador to the to England.
Well, he don't
So
start out as he's just a diplomat.
well, you do the plot then.
He's a diplomat and starts out there in Italy, Rome, Italy. He's a diplomat over there, and his wife's having a baby, and she has the baby, and the baby dies at childbirth, and this priest tries to get Gregory Peck, which is Robert Thorne,
That's
to
right.
adopt this baby that was just born at the same time, and the mother died. So he does that without telling the wife, and basically
It's the Antichrist.
the child is the Antichrist. So
That's a good plot right there.
good plot. All right. I'm gonna go over the cast a little bit here. I'm not gonna go over everybody on here, just like the main
No,
people.
just cover the basics because there's like 1,000 people in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Okay, first we got Gregory Peck as Robert Thorne, Lee Remick as Catherine Thorne, David Warner as Keith Jennings, and Billy Whitelaw as Mrs. Baylock. She was a freak in this movie.
She was.
Played a good freak. Harvey Spencer Stevens as Damien Thorne. Patrick Troughton as Father Brennan. Martin Benson as Father Spoleto. Leo McKern as Carl Bugenhagen.
Bugenhagen.
Carl Bugenhagen. You hear more about that guy in part 2, actually. Robert Rietti as Monk. John Stride as the psychiatrist. Anthony Nichols as Dr. Fred Baker. And Holly Palance as the nanny. You know which nanny that is, right?
Yeah, she took quite a tumble, didn't she?
Yeah, her neck got lengthened. All right, that's it for the
Main cast.
main cast. There's like you said, there's like 100 people in this. Lots
Gregory
of
Peck. Now, how in the world did Richard Donner get Gregory Peck in this movie?
I don't know, because he was like a big actor, man, back in the day.
Yeah, he was a huge actor during the day. I believe
He had
I'm
a
gonna
lot
try
of
to look-
issues right around with the time that
I was
this.
gonna say I'm gonna try to look a little bit of this up, so I'm just not totally making up shit. But I want to say that he had somebody had passed away, maybe his wife or something.
No, his son actually
His
committed
son. It was
suicide.
his son. So I never really saw how they conned Gregory Peck into doing this quote unquote horror movie about the Antichrist, but
And he did it for cheap too.
he did it cheap. Again, Richard Donner, who, if you don't know who Richard Donner is, which some of the listeners probably don't, he became one of the biggest producers in Hollywood after The Omen. That actually started his career as a movie director.
Yep.
I remember after The Omen, he got a phone call and somebody was like, "We'll give you $1 million right now if you'll agree to do Superman." So he directed the first and the second Superman. Well, actually, he semi-directed the second Superman, and then he had quite a career after that. So this sort of launched his whole, because he even said if the Omen failed, he was going to go back to doing TV projects. So that's a little background on Richard Donner. He's probably known for the Superman movies more than anything.
Yep. All right.
You yipped. I think that's a drink.
Yeah. That stuff's not, I'm not a big fan of it.
I don't even know what it is.
It's some local vodka.
Don't support local.
Pilot Point.
Richard Donner, he also did the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yep.
So yeah, he's done a lot. The Omen launched his career. That's pretty cool. Don't support local vodka, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. That was funny. All righty. I got a drink.
Yeah, you got to drink because you went dead silent there.
Damn, I'm gonna drink this drink fast. Are you ready for some trivia?
Yeah, let's get something going here because we're sort of
We're slacking.
We're drowning in a load of crap right now.
All right.
That's what happens when I'm tired of shit.
All right.
And
Harvey
going on no
Stevens,
sleep.
the little kid that played Damien.
Gene Simmons played Damien. What?
Harvey Stevens.
Harvey Stevens. But by the way, I'm going to do a shout out to Paul Stanley. It's his birthday. Paul Stanley of Kiss.
Well, happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul. So not Gene Simmons, the Damien kid.
Yeah. Harvey Stevens, the kid that played Damien.
Yes.
He was chosen for the role in the way he attacked Richard Donner during auditions.
He kicked him in the balls, didn't he?
Yep, kicked him in the balls and scratched his face. And he immediately told him, get this kid to makeup and dye his blonde hair dark brown. And
yeah, he was a blonde and they dyed his hair black or whatever.
And, he's Damien.
They should have dyed it red.
All right. The biggest problem with shooting with Mrs. Baylock's ominous dog was the animal was nothing like the creature it was supposed to be portraying. He wanted to lick and kiss everybody on set.
I remember that.
At around 51 minutes in the movie, when the fishbowl falls to the ground, instead of goldfish, it's dead sardines painted orange.
Yeah, Richard Donner said he didn't want to kill a goldfish for a movie. Got to give him some credit there. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to kill a goldfish either.
Jerry Goldsmith didn't want to attend the Academy Awards that year since he'd already been lost multiple times before and didn't want to go through the ordeal of losing again. And Richard Donner told him, you better go. You're going to win. You better go. And he went and he ended up winning it that year.
Deserved. Well deserved.
Yep. Here we go back to Gregory Peck. One of the reasons why Gregory Peck accepted the role of a tortured father conflicted with guilt was because he hadn't been around when his son committed suicide.
It was suicide. Okay.
In 1975, the year before. So maybe it was sort of like
probably how they got him in the movie then.
Maybe it was sort of like therapy for him too, you know.
Could have been. That wasn't the norm, getting a big actor like that to do. Well, Richard Donner didn't consider this a horror movie. He considered it more of a thriller, he said. So that might have sold him on the movie too. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Mrs. Baylock was originally written as a warm Irish nanny.
Boy, that didn't turn out.
No. The lady who played it, Billy Whitelaw, she totally changed the dialogue to create a cold, sinister bitch.
That lady should have won an award. That was some really good acting.
I believe she was nominated for some of that. I need to go back and look at it was nominated and won a couple of things. Nominated for a bunch of stuff all over. So we'll go over that in a bit. Yeah, Gregory Peck was only paid $250,000 for his role.
Pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, I know, because he was a big star back in the day. All righty. Oh, but a drink. Oh, let's see here. Some of these are long. I don't want to read them all, these long ones.
Yeah, let's just hit the core.
Let's see, where's a good one? At around 34 minutes to make the baboons attack the car.
I can tell you that without reading it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, here's the story behind the baboons, or the baboons, however you want to pronounce that. So they said the baboons were around people, so they couldn't get them to act up. So they took one of the babies, and the baboons were like, bye, baby. We don't care. So the big kahuna, I guess he had to be taken out to have a procedure done. So the animal keeper said, if we take him, and they'll go nuts. So they gave him the, whatever you shoot up a baboon with. What do you call that? Anesthesia? What is it?
Some sort of anesthesia.
Yeah. Sedative.
Probably the same shit they put a human out with.
They knocked him out and put him in the back of the station wagon. And those baboons were all over the place.
Yes.
So that's how they got the baboons to go crazy, because they took the leader baboon out, put him in the back of the thing with them. And I guess Richard Donner said if you watch the film shakes a little bit because he was scared.
Well,
He
I
was
guess
actually filming it.
Lee Remick, and I guess she was freaked out about it too for a while.
So was the kid.
Yeah, they
So
totally
that was
they totally looked at it. That was a good scene for sure.
So yeah, I've always loved that story on that scene. That was some legitimate fright right there.
Yeah, that was a trip. All right. The movie was originally going to be called The Birthmark,
Okay.
but a good chunk of the movie was filmed on location in an Italian maternity ward for the beginning of the movie when Kathy gives birth in Rome to the dead child, and they do the switcheroony. The crew put signs up saying "Quiet, filming the birthmark," and I guess a bunch of the pregnant women, they didn't want any mention of birthmarks for the fear of bad luck.
Yeah.
So then they changed it to filming the Omen, and then they just went with it after that. So
That's interesting.
yeah, ain't that a trip? The Omen sounds way better anyway than the birthmark.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Since he did have a birthmark on him, though, I
He
guess.
did have the 666 birthmark on him, so my hair's tripping out tonight. What's up with that?
Is it big hair today?
No, it's work hair, but it's going to hell because I'm tired and I don't know.
Richard Donner's priority was not to make a crackerjack horror film, but a realistic portrayal of family in crisis to the point where insanity briefly takes over.
Yeah, that's another note. Richard Donner said that he thinks that the Gregory Peck character just went crazy and that all this was a bunch of coincidences, and he blamed it on Damien, and it's because he was nuts. And he said that's sort of how he views the movie. He said he gets so nuts he's going to chop the kid up. So that's the director's version of it.
The song Avesatani.
Avesatani.
It remains the only Best Original Song Oscar nominee for a horror film, and the only nominee that was written and sung in Latin.
Probably be the last.
Probably.
Hey, look, I'm wearing an Evil Never Dies shirt.
Yeah.
Long sleeve one.
Ooh. The Joyzy.
No, this is the red long sleeve shirt.
Oh.
I've got more Evil Never Dies shirts than you got.
Yeah, you do. I think I only got one I didn't cut the sleeves off of. Damon was originally going to be called Domlin.
Domlin?
Yeah, because writer David Seltzer had a friend whose obnoxious child was named Domlin. And then the guy's wife convinced him to change it to Damien.
Yeah, that would have ruined the movie.
Damien, I know. I know. Oh, let's see. More than twice the film's original $2.8 million budget was spent on advertising and promotion. So they spent $6 million just on promoting the thing and advertising. Wow. That's crazy. After finishing work on the film, special effects man John Richardson and his assistant were working on A Bridge Too Far in Holland. On their way back to their hotel one night, their car was hit by a truck and the assistant was killed instantly.
Wait a minute. Are you getting into the Curse of the Omen?
Yes, we're getting into the Curse of the Omen.
This is a cursed movie.
Yes, it is.
I believed in the curse.
Richard Donner, I've heard that Richard Donner didn't believe in the curse, and then I've heard that he feared for his life during the filming of it.
I've seen stuff with Richard Donner. He thought it was a bunch of bullshit.
All right.
That I've heard directly from him. He said if they would have been filming a comedy and all this happened, nobody would ever even thought twice about it. Since they were making an Antichrist Satan film, he said every little thing that happened, people scrutinized. Although there's one, I don't know if you got on your trivia, they were gonna charter a plane to go film something. He said they didn't have the money to even charter it. So the guy said, well, if you'll come back tomorrow, we'll do it for basically nothing because we got some people want to go out today. So Donner agreed. Well, guess what? That plane crashed that day.
Yeah.
So Donner's like, if we had took the plane that day, would we have crashed? Hit a flock of birds, I think, and landed on a car and killed everybody in the car. So maybe I think that might have spooked Donner just a bit.
Yeah. Bunch of the actors' planes got hit by lightning and shit.
A lot of lightning strikes.
Yep, like 3 or 4 of them. And the scene in the movie where the guy's head gets cut off by the glass.
Hey, you just gave a spoiler.
Oh well. But anyway, that almost went terribly wrong.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit went on during when that movie was made. All right, at around 39 minutes, the verses Father Brennan quotes about the eternal sea are non-biblical and written for the movie. The detail of the Antichrist rising from the sea is from Revelations 13, however.
Here's you some trivia. Did you know Iced Earth wrote a song about the Omen movie?
Didn't they do a whole album
Damien.
about horror movies?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
That song is called, and that song is creepy as shit too.
Is it?
And they actually use lines from the movie in it, and
who's singing on that?
Matthew Barlow.
Oh, okay.
The best Iced Earth singer of the 10 they've had.
Dick Van Dyke was up for this film and he turned it down.
Fuck, I wouldn't want to be in this film if I was Dick Van Dyke.
And he said it was stupid.
Can you blame him? He's Dick Van Dyke. Why would he want to be in the Omen?
Yeah. Oh.
What the hell is he gonna play?
He was gonna play Gregory Peck's part.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about David Warner. That guy's fucking awesome. I love that him in anything he's done. He was extra good in this. Big
David
fan.
Warner.
Yeah.
Who'd he play? I need to go back to my list here.
Bubba got to look at his list.
Oh, Keith Jennings, the British guy.
I don't know any of these people's names. Like I said, I just know them by their actor names.
Okay.
There's some movies I just call people like the most famous is the whole Linda Blair thing.
Yeah.
We call Linda Blair. I have no idea what Reagan is. Everybody, oh, it's Reagan. Who the fuck is Reagan? Ronald Reagan? Richard even told me, he's like, yeah, we're calling the new haunt Reagan's Revenge. And I said, you're naming it after Ronald Reagan? He said, what? He said, no, man. He said, it looks like Reagan from The Exorcist. Oh, you mean Linda Blair? He's like, yeah, Linda Blair. So some of these movies, I just call them by their name. So I have no idea what David Warner's character was in this movie. I'm sorry. The kid is just Damien. I know that. I don't know. You called him Gene Simmons at one point, which I can see the comparisons. Sort of looks like the spawn of Gene Simmons. That's a creepy little kid in this movie,
Yeah, he is.
especially at the end.
He played taxi driver in the remake, I guess. All grown up.
Oh, okay.
And the popularity of Rottweiler dogs increased tremendously after this movie was released.
Did you know this? They were going to use German Shepherds instead of Rottweilers, but they couldn't bring German Shepherds to England to film it for some odd reason.
What are
I
German
guess
Shepherds illegal over there?
I don't know. England has some kind of weird law about dogs, and they wouldn't let them bring the German Shepherds, so they got the Rotties instead.
Huh.
Change the movie for the better.
Well, that's a nice little tidbit to know.
See, I don't need to prepare nothing.
You don't need to prepare.
That is why I'm a contributor to this shit. I'm better when I just do it off the rail. I'm gonna watch a movie after this. And before we're done, I have a complaint about the show as a listener. So before we end, bring that back up.
What?
Yes, I have a complaint as a listener.
Okay.
We'll bring that up at the end.
All right.
I just said that so we won't forget.
David Seltzer admitted that he made up a poem that is allegedly from the Book of Revelations foretelling the rise of the Antichrist and the downfall of humanity.
That doesn't exist in the Bible.
Yep.
But it is in the Iced Earth song. If you really want to do some stuff, play a snippet of that song at the end. Note that at the end of the show. Iced Earth theme.
Okay. I can throw that in. I'll do that.
Hell, that might lead to an album review right there. I'm going to be doing some album reviews here, just one-offs. One of these weekends, I'm going to cut about 4 of them at once. And on these weeks that I'm sleepy, I'll have something for you. Or you're sick.
These weeks you're not sleepy, you mean?
Or a story. Iced Earth, it's going on the list. Well, I guess we shouldn't really, I really don't care what the hell Dickhead did at the Capitol. I still like the band Iced Earth based on their past, so there you go.
I like their music.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have sort of turned on him because of his politics.
Yeah.
They don't have a band anymore. Everybody quit the band except for the drummer. They just have Schaefer and the drummer. That's Iced Earth now. A rhythm guitar player and a drummer. Schaefer never even played lead. I always thought that was weird that the main band guy was the rhythm guitar player.
All right. Do you know the meaning of avesatani?
I do, but I can't think right now.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Yeah. Satanus is one of the blue demon sayings. It's sort of similar.
Damien comes from the Greek word dama, which means to overcome, master, or to tame.
To tame a land.
To tame the land.
Yeah, listen to the midweek. That was a good episode you did. I actually learned a few things.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
I'll wait till the end of the show when I start complaining, though.
Oh.
I'm pulling at my beard now, so.
Richard Donner hated the first cut of the film, but was convinced by the editor to go back and reassemble it in the editing room.
Well, the head cutoff scene, which is a spoiler, I know he played around with that and said that he thought they left the head too long, and that when he saw it in the theater, people would close their eyes and open it. It was still there, and it turned out to be perfect.
Charlton Heston, Roy Scheider, and William Holden all turned down the lead role.
Charlton Heston would have been good in it.
And maybe, yeah.
some weird movies by this point of his career.
But William Holden later on went to star in the sequel, Damien Omen 2, in 1978. And Heston made an Omen-like film in 1980, The Awakening. You seen that? I don't know if I've seen that or not.
I have seen that.
I probably have. I just don't remember it. But the plot to that is very similar to The Omen.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember that or not.
All righty. Here's more back to the curse. On the first day of shooting, allegedly one of the crew was in a head-on collision, and producer Harvey Bernhardt's car was hit by another driver coming the wrong way out of a side street and tore the door off of it.
Yeah, I think there was more going on with this curse than people know. I don't know. I don't really know what to think, but they actually did an episode of that Cursed Films on The Omen, and it was actually probably the best one they did.
Yep.
The Omen and Poltergeist seem to be some really fucking cursed movies, legitimately.
Well, that's about all I got for trivia. Let's go over a little bit of the awards here. There's a lot of them. I'm just going to go over
this
the
thing
main
won a
one.
freaking Academy Award for the soundtrack.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Won the Oscar for Best Music, Original Song, Original Score in 1977.
Pretty cool.
The BAFTA Awards, the Billy Whitelaw was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror. It was nominated for Best Horror Film, but didn't win. DVD Exclusive Awards. It was nominated for Best DVD in 2001.
I would have had that DVD, but I don't have it no more because
No, I got the box set of that, but I got it on DVD when that came out.
I had the original 20th Century Fox version, then I got the Scream Factory version. I still think it's weird that 20th Century and Fox were two different companies once upon a time, and now they are again. So I repeated myself. I'll take a drink. I said that last week.
David Seltzer was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the Edgar Allan Poe Awards in 1977. And Harvey Stevens was nominated for Best Acting Debut in a Motion Picture for the Golden Globes in 77, but he didn't win.
Is that the Gene Simmons kid?
Yeah, that's the Gene Simmons kid. Darwin or whatever his name is. Jerry Goldsmith was nominated for a Grammy for Best Album Original Score for a Motion Picture or Television Special in 1977, but he didn't win.
But he won the Academy Award. How weird is that?
Well, let's see. All the rest of them are little bullshit ones, so I won't even go over them.
Okay, we'll skip those. I got my Phantasm picture up now that you gave me.
Oh, yeah?
It's unframed because with my new lighting system, right in that one spot, the light would shine on the TV and it would drive me crazy. So I had to take my frame down and I put that picture of Angus Scrimm in its place.
That's a cool picture.
So it is a good picture, and it's right above me with Angus Scrimm, so that's perfect. So there's a tidbit.
Go to Dollar Tree and get you a frame.
I don't want a frame. I don't want it shining on my TV.
We'll take the plastic out of it. I think that's what I'm going to do with some of mine.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea.
Take the glass or the plastic out of it. Just might have to put that sticky stuff on it so it stays in there.
Yeah.
Back. But well, you got anything else about the Omen, Carl?
Nothing else. I think I had a few good little tidbits, I hope.
How old were you when you first seen this movie?
I have no idea. I don't remember at all.
I remember seeing this when it first came out, man, at the
You saw
old,
everything when it first came out.
back then I did. Didn't have nothing else to do but go watch movies. So, yeah. In
Well,
an
let's go ahead and how
old
many 666s do you give the Omen?
I give it, I don't know, man. It's probably one of my favorite all-time horror movies. So I'm going to give it a 4.5.
I will give it a.
It's probably in my top 10 horror movies for sure.
I don't know that it'd make my top 10, but I do like the Omen. I would give it a 4.
And give it a 4,
including the soundtrack. Yes, there are a few little slow points in it. Probably not as, the problem with movies then in the 70s, everybody was trying to rip off The Exorcist, and The Omen did not. But in a sort of way, if it wasn't for The Exorcist, would The Omen ever have been made? Probably not. So I might take a couple little off just for that. Rosemary's Baby or whatever, all those movies.
Rosemary's Baby is way before The Exorcist, a couple of years.
Yeah. All those movies are all the whole satanic thing.
That's going on the list too.
No, I hate that movie. It's annoying. Go ahead, make me watch it. I'll slam it. But The Omen, I will not. I will give The Omen 4 stars or 4 666s, and I will recommend this. The rest of the trilogy is so-so. I would say watch it once, but keep The Omen. The Omen is something you can watch over and over again. And this Blu-ray from the Scream Factory has a lot of good features. And there's a lot I'm going to watch tonight.
What's your opinion on the remake?
I like the remake. I remember seeing it in the theater because it came out on 6/6 of 06. I think it was. I didn't have a problem with the remake. I thought it was done fairly well.
Yep. They tried to make it go more scene for scene.
They did.
Actually. And I think when they do a remake, I think it's better doing that actually.
Well, everybody hated that Psycho movie they remade that was supposedly scene by scene, but it wasn't scene by scene.
No, it was different.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, see ESPN right there.
ESPN.
Yeah. But no, the remake isn't bad.
No, that's not.
Least, I have not. I don't even know that I've ever watched the Omen 4.
I've watched it. I think
every set I've had's got it in there, but I've never watched it.
I think
I don't like the Omen 3 or whatever it was called. It's not a great movie.
No. That had what's his name from Jurassic Park in it, and
yeah, it's not the best.
remember Space 1999?
Barely.
He was in that too, that guy.
Sam O'Neill?
Yep. Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
That's his name, yeah. Yeah, that movie wasn't that good. I wasn't too big of a fan of 3.
Well, that's our Omen summary.
That's our Omen.
So now I've got to complain as a listener of this Evil Never Dies podcast, and especially the YouTube. So here's my complaint. And I wish
I already know it. I already know where you're going with this.
I wish we could get some of the listeners and watchers to chime in on this and say, yay, I'm right or I'm wrong. So I'm going on my lunch walk and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put the show on and see what the audio is. I'm on YouTube. Brett puts the damn trailers before the show. And it annoys the shit out of me because I don't want to watch the damn trailer. I want to hear the content of the show as a listener. And this goes for all podcasts. And this is me. It's not anybody else. If you put a bunch of gibberish shit at the beginning of your show, people like me are going to turn it off and say, fuck it. I ain't fast forwarding to this crap. So I think that you should put the trailers at the end, especially on YouTube.
All right.
That's my opinion. I wish, please, somebody chime in. We never get any feedback. We got people listening, watching, but nobody ever says anything. So tell us, trailer before, trailer after, or no trailer at all.
Well,
because you put the music snippets at the end.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that the other day because you'd said something the other day about it. So
honestly, and this I'm not trashing on anybody, but all podcasts, if there's a big long, and especially more YouTube, because I'm more of a YouTube guy. I hate when people have a long ass beginning. And I'm not again trying to brag on Video Bob, but you know what his beginning is? Just a little blah 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 Video Bob, and that's it. It takes like maybe 3 seconds.
yeah.
So that's just me. I want, if I'm gonna take my time to watch something on YouTube, I want to watch the product. I don't want to go sit through a bunch of mishmash or a 5-minute long intro. Now, I know some people are going to do advertisements and commercials because they're making money, and I can't complain about that. Because if you're that big and you're making money, then yeah, you should have your ads. That's a different scenario altogether. But anyway, that's my complaint for the week.
All right.
I know me and you talked about it just in texting, but I
Well,
just would like to know what the listeners and the YouTube watchers think on that.
I
So
would
somebody
too.
say something. If you don't say something, then I don't know.
I appreciate constructive criticism for sure.
Yeah, and I
Whatever
may
can
be
make
the
the
only
show
person
better.
that feels that way. Everybody, oh, you're stupid. And everybody puts the trailer before. But I'm thinking more of the YouTube is what kind of, I don't really mind that it's on the podcast as much, but YouTube, I don't know. I don't mind the Natasha's warning, and then you play the intro of the song because the intro goes by really quick.
Yeah, it's only 40 seconds, so
That's not bad, but the 2 or 3 minute trailer, it sort of annoys me. Like I said, this week, if it hadn't been our own show, I would have just turned it off and went to something else.
all right.
My opinion, just me. I'm a contributor. You're the host. I actually do nothing. I don't. People always make fun of me, but I do nothing for this show except talk. I don't make notes. I don't do any editing. I just show up. So this is all Brett.
You need to, I told you need to get the stuff and need to learn how to do it.
Now, I ain't got time. I'm a very busy person.
Oh,
You got more time than me.
hey, I'm busy.
Yeah, drinking tonight. But again, that's just my little critique I wanted to throw out to the public, if you will, to quote the great Dusty Rhodes.
All right. Well, I appreciate the constructive criticism. Let us know, everybody. Send us an email or message me on Facebook or something.
And what name do you prefer to go by on this show?
Well,
Bubba, Evil Never Dies,
I
or
don't
Brett?
give a fuck.
We never use your last name. I use my last name
I
all
don't
the
use
time.
my last name because it's too fucking long.
I can't even pronounce your last name. One time Richard introduced you with full name, and I'm like, he can say your last name.
Oh, it's not hard to say once you say it a couple of times.
What
But
about Bubby? I guess
I just hate saying it.
You're Bubby too.
Bubby.
That's Scarlett's name for you, so you're Bubby. Okay, we've rambled on long enough.
Rambled.
Can I go to sleep now?
I guess, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody, check us out on all the social medias. Check us out on the YouTube for sure. Give us some constructive criticism.
Yeah, if I'm an asshole, just tell me.
Oh, and I got to give a shout out to Annie Chesser. She bought us a cup of coffee. Thanks, Annie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, hon. So, all right. That's all we got for the Omen and all the other bullshit we talked about.
Yeah. Iced Earth.
Yeah, I'm
Paul Stanley's birthday.
Hey, that's
we forgot to mention Count Karavi this week, so take a drink.
Take it. Oh fuck! Gotta take a drink.
Take a gander for Count Karavi's museum on Facebook and like the page. I need to get that thing up a little bit. I've kind of neglected it since Halloween.
Nobody posts nothing on there but me.
Well, you're actually on the group page. Nobody's even members of the group page. I'm talking about the main Count Karabi's museum page.
Oh,
Go to
you won't let me post nothing on there. I
www.countkarabi.com,
can't
and
post nothing on there.
Well,
It won't let me.
no.
It won't let me post.
Yeah, no, I couldn't let you post. That's why I made the group page, but nobody ever joined the group. But you.
I'm the only one in the group.
Just go to www.countkarabi.com and you'll figure it all out. And that's all.
All right, everybody, stay evil.
Fake Billy Puppet says hi.
For generations, the Thorns have been a family of tremendous wealth, position, and power. The perfect marriage of Ambassador Robert Thorn and his wife Catherine was fulfilled by the birth of their son, Damien. And then, when the child was 5 years old, something terrible happened. And then it happened again. Was it an accident? Was it murder? Was it a coincidence? Or was it an omen?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
20th Century Fox presents a film of psychological suspense about an occurrence of earth-shaking importance. Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen.
I was at the hospital, Mr. Thorne, the night your son was born. I saw its mother. I saw its mother.
I have fears. I have fears.
What kind of fears? Its mother, Mr. Thorne.
You saw my wife.
Its mother.
What is it you're trying to say?
His mother was a...
This is not a human child. Make no mistake.
There are those who will die for him. There are those who will kill for him. Who is he? What does he want? Where did he come from? And can he be stopped? Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen. If this is the truth, where does it end?
I have fears. I have fears.
What kind of fears? Its mother, Mr. Thorne.
You saw my wife.
Its mother.
What is it you're trying to say?
His mother was a...